to say too much.
But it's not number one in the United States.
It's conspiracy, yeah. I don't want to say too much. I'm done.
Controlling the masses. It is speculated that all major happenings in the world, ranging from political, entertainment, and terror, is carefully orchestrated to shape the public's opinions for the Illuminati's desired agenda. The puppets. Celebrities and other public figures are believed to be pre-chosen agents to help the brainwashing and distract from what supposedly really goes on behind the curtain. The sacrifices. Though not all fun and games for everyone, the Illuminati is said to take out the celebrities that don't go by their rules. Whenever a public figure dies unexpectedly, it seems almost too easy to link them to a secret assassination, and there have been reports of paranoia by some before their untimely deaths. The rituals. Events like the Golden Globes, American Music Awards, and Super Bowl are thought to be ideal times to corrupt the masses. Since 2004, the halftime show at the Super Bowl is believed to be the biggest public ritual for the Illuminati. Some say the performances are chock full of subliminal messages and an attempt to summon the devil right before millions of spectators.
This whole conspiracy, this is a conspiracy that we're dealing with. And a lot of people don't know that and understand it. They only know what the media feeds you, as you well know, because we believe. See, the media is the eyes and ears to the world. Whatever they feed us is what we hear. True. And that's what we believe. And that's what the media is doing. I want the truth.
And what do you think is the truth, though? That there are other people involved, and what else?
Well, Michael told me before he passed. He told me that he was afraid that he was going to die. He was going to be murdered, he said.
He thought he would be murdered?
Oh, yeah, he did. He said that to me. So, homicide's a murder as far as I'm concerned. But the problem is that who did it? Who actually did it? Who manipulated this?
It might not be just one person, you're saying.
Oh, it's not one person, no, not at all.
Where were you, La Toya, when you heard the sad news?
Well, I was, actually, my father called me. I was at home, and I had just hung up the phone with my business partner, and he had just told me about Farah, and I said, oh my, geez, I wonder who's next, because it always happens in threes. People controlled him. They controlled him, they did what they wanted, and it was very difficult for him to say no, no, no. They keep everybody at bay. They keep everyone away, actually. Everyone.
How did they do that?
By controlling. But by controlling him, controlling his thoughts, control what he does, not letting any, giving orders, not letting anyone through the gates, not letting anyone near security, things of that nature. And this way they have him and they control whatever he does. The phones, no phones in the house.
Sometimes I look back at the footage and I go, did I do that? Yeah. So I'm slave to the rhythm. Yeah. Okay? I think the alarm's going off in the house. I don't know why. But we're going to fix it in a minute. We're in live television. So we're going to go to break. These things happen. We'll be right back.
He was totally being controlled, completely, as to what time you go to bed, when you wake up, what you do. You guys have no idea. He was totally being controlled. If you don't do this, then we're not going to do this, and you're not going to have this. He was being controlled the entire time.
And these people kept him drugged so that he wouldn't have anything to say about it, and he couldn't even say anything about it.
It's a very, very sad story.
He was basically helpless.
Oh yeah, he was very, very, very easygoing, very meek, very soft, could never say no. And they took advantage, and they started piecing and putting people in there and just totally taking advantage of him.
They murdered my brother, and they know who they are. It's not just Dr. Murray, I promise you that. It's more people involved, and they know exactly who they are, and I'm going to let you guys know exactly what's happening and what's going on. It's more than just Dr. Murray that's involved in this.
When you're there and you're putting all the elements together.
That's the thing now. That's the thing.
And you're putting everything together and
because you're not at all happy with the findings so far, or you're not at all happy just closing it off and moving on with your life. You think you're convinced there's a story there that needs to be told.
Oh no, there is.
Yeah.
There absolutely is. There's no doubt about it.
Do you think it's murder?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I said it in the beginning, and I believe it to this day. Absolutely. Absolutely. You must remember, Michael told me repeatedly that they were going to kill him, that he was going to die. And he would say that. And when I heard my mother scream, "He's dead," immediately I said, "Who did it?" I didn't say what for, what of, what happened, who did it? Because he repeatedly said that. And he not only told me, he told my mother as well,
Yeah.
and she mentions it quite often too.
And who did it?
There's quite a few involved. The doctor that you're looking at, the doctor that you see there, was the fall guy. That's what he was. He was the fall guy.
And so there are people in the background
There are people in the background.
pulling strings?
Yes, absolutely.
And is it mainly for business purposes or personal purposes?
No, strictly business.
Strictly business.
Strictly business.
It's people wanting to use Michael as a cash cow?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's horrible how sort of...
There's so much that the world doesn't know.
Yeah.
There's so much that's being covered up. There's so much that's being said. When you speak out, they divert everything.
Yeah.
And
it's also, it becomes so inhumane when there are people just in it for the profits, for the money.
Absolutely.
I mean, Michael doesn't become a person anymore. He becomes just a product type of thing.
just a product.
That
And that's what he was when he was alive.
Yeah.
That's what they were doing to him alive. And
he
that's
used-
when they
he-
knew he was worth more dead than alive. And that's what happened to my brother.
Okay.
Did Michael want to do 50 concerts?
Absolutely not.
Then why did he?
Michael wanted to do 10 shows, and these people came into his life. They came and says, "No, you have to do more, you have to do this." They booked them without Michael even knowing. Michael couldn't do those many shows, Barbara. That's... A 22-year-old probably couldn't do those many shows the way they had them scheduled back to back.
Michael Jackson were what we call enablers. They had a lot to gain from him and a lot to lose from him.
Because there are ways that people cover up situations, and of course then you're dealing with detectives that aren't always 1,000% there, that, you know, says, okay, then let's just say this happened, then you speak to someone else, no, that's not what happened. Wait a minute, what are you guys saying? I remember when this was there and that happened there.
Yeah.
So everything is quite, it's confusing, it's complicated, but at the same time, it's very simple.
Are you helping the investigation? Everything you know? Have they interviewed you for this?
No, they have never
No.
interviewed me. In the beginning, I was working with them.
No, okay.
But they have never interviewed me. They have never interviewed anyone really in my family except for one person. And that's very interesting. Very
So
interesting.
you fear it's going to be some sort of whitewash?
Oh, they have already said that, you know, it's strictly the doctor. It is not the doctor.
But they are at least charging him with homicide, right?
Of course the doctor did it, but the doctor was the fall guy.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a conspiracy.
They need to go behind
This is
that.
a conspiracy, yes.
And the doctor might not reveal. I mean, do you think the doctor is just a hired hand in this? Or is the doctor involved also with the people in the background?
He's involved.
He's involved.
Yes, he's absolutely involved with everything
Because
that was going on.
these drugs that they
See, you
give...
must remember, the doctor, this is like a magician.
Yeah. No.
This is what it's like a magician. The magician, you know, he's doing magic trick and we're all watching this hand because this is the magic that's going on. Meanwhile, this is what's really going on over here. But we're watching this hand. This hand is the doctor. This is what's really going on over here. And that's what you have to keep in mind.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I'm really, really tired of the manipulation. I'm tired of how the press is manipulating. They do not tell the truth. They're liars. This is all complete conspiracy. You have to know that. It's time for a change. In not leave this building and forget what has been said. Put it into your heart, put it into your subconscious mind, and let's do something about it. We have to. We have to. Because it's been a long, long time coming. And a change has got to come.
What was going through your mind when you're taken into a police station in handcuffs to have a mugshot taken that you know is going to be shown around the world?
They did it to try and belittle me, to try to take away my pride. But I went through the whole system with them, and at the end, I wanted the public to know that I was okay. All over the world, America's the only one because I don't want to say too much.
But it's not number one in the United States.
It's conspiracy, yeah. I don't want to say too much. I'm done.
I knew Michael was surrounded by people that positioned themselves in his life, positioned themselves to control and take advantage of him. And that's what bothered me more than anything else, because I knew something terrible would happen at the end, not to mention the fact that Michael constantly told me, La Toya, if I die, they're going to murder me, they're going to kill me. He would tell me that, Barbara. When I found out he had actually passed, I said, no, it wasn't an accident. He was murdered.
Your brother was murdered.
I always believed that from day one, when I found out that he was no longer with us. I said, I'm not going to accept anything else, Barbara. They could have told me a heart attack. They could have told me he had fallen off a ladder, and I would have said, no, it's not a heart attack. He was murdered. Did he fall off a ladder? No, he was murdered.
Who murdered your brother?
I think there are more players involved than we know. This is just my opinion. This is what I feel. I know what Michael was afraid of. I know that when you're in a position...
What was he afraid of?
He was afraid of his life. He would say, I'm afraid of my life. I'm afraid they're going to assassinate me. I'm afraid they're going to kill me. He would always say that, Barbara.
La Toya said that Michael was murdered by people who would benefit financially from his death.
I didn't get to the house until, I think it was 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. So that entire day went by it was over 12 hours. Michael's house was like it was ransacked when we got there. I said, who did this? And I asked security, I said, who did this? And he goes, that someone else around Michael hired those doctors. And I've been told that over and over and over again.
These will be my final show performances in London. This will be it. This is it. And when I say this is it, it really means this is it.